Overcoming fear gremlins. So fear gremlins, in my opinion, are the little voices in your head that throw you comments when you're ready to do something, you're excited about something, and then all of a sudden you start to retract and retreat and you go back into yourself, and those fear gremlins little voices take over, and all of a sudden you've went from I'm gonna do it to oh my goodness, I'm gonna run away and I never want to address this again. Those fear gremlins, when we start out the day first thing in the morning, they are so quiet. They don't even exist. We wake up in the morning, we're feeling really good, we're positive, we're ready to crack on, get all the tasks done for the day. You have to do your messages, your emails, if you've got presentations or whatever. The earlier in the day you have this stuff to do, the more excited you feel and the less the fear gremlins kick in. However, as the day goes on, that negative voice and that negative self-doubt starts to build. And as that voice builds, it gets louder and louder and louder to the point where all of a sudden you feel like you can't do anything, you're useless, you're never going to be able to. And those fear gremlins are screaming in your brain and you just want to stop. For me, a huge fear that I have, and I still have, but because I've never been in a position since I've been doing all this work on myself to actually overcome this fear. But for me, one of the biggest fears that I'm ready now to overcome is actually doing a cliff jump. It sounds so silly, right? But every time I, growing up, went to the edge of the cliff ready to jump off, I would get this flood of fear and anxiety over me to the point where I'd be on the edge of the cliff and I would be frozen solid. My heart would pound and I would feel like I was going to have a panic attack. On quite a few occasions I did actually have a panic attack when I thought someone was about to push me or I was about to actually go. I would completely lose it and collapse. And for me, that overwhelming fear was just this voice in my head, and I don't even know what that voice in my head really was, because I'm a good swimmer, but I think I just had this fear of the unknown, of taking that leap and not knowing how I would react when I hit the water. So for me, a huge big thing to overcome my fear for this year is to actually get myself to a point where I can do a cliff jump. Now for you, those fears might be a lot smaller, they might be a lot greater. Whatever those fears are within you, I want you to start to draw on them and think to yourself, what fears do I need to conquer in life? Because whatever those fears are, whether they're internal, external, verbal, their actions, whatever they may be, you have a choice now to overcome them. And when you overcome fear, it makes you feel like a freaking badass. I cannot even explain how good it makes you feel when you learn how to say no to someone because you don't want to do it, or when you hold your hand up and speak your opinion, or when you actually do something like a cliff jump that I've not done yet, but I promise you guys I'm going to do it this year, and I'm ready now to address that fear head on and just take the jump. So I really want you to think about, what fears do you have inside you that are holding you back in life? Because the adrenaline junkie within you, there will be one there, I promise, will feel such an exhilaration and such a euphoric state when you actually let go of that fear. And in that moment when you let go of that fear and you realize there's nothing to be afraid of, your vision expands and you all of a sudden feel so much bigger, so much greater, and so much more capable of absolutely anything. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a couple of human real fears, fire, being stuck underwater. They're two real human fears. But apart from that, there's no real fears within this world that anyone should have. Nothing should scare you. Nothing alive, nothing in your head, nothing that you could do, nothing you could say. Just nothing should make you feel frightened and make you feel like you can't achieve. So I really want you to start to address your fears with this one, and I really want you to let me know, which fears are you going to work on and which fears are you going to push through. And a couple of weeks ago, I released a video and it was a circle of possibilities, and in that video I talked to you about fears and how you can start with the fears that are just outside your reach, and you can expand and expand and expand until you're ready to grab those big fears, and all of a sudden they don't feel so big. So if you do want to go and check out that video, head to the page, go find it. It's Circle of Possibility, and really start to tap into what fears are holding you back in life and how can you overcome them to unleash your inner badass and actually feel incredible. I'm also going to hold myself to telling you all I'm doing a cliff jump this year. I just have to get myself to a place where I can do that. So if anyone's got any ideas, hit me up.